G'day YouTube, Josef from Oz again. Today we're going to throw the extruder assembly together for the i3 3D printer that we're building. I'm using a design that I quite like, which is called the Metal Gear System, or MGS extruder. The reason it's so awesome is that it's all metal. One of the things that the original RepRap designs were able to do is use a printed set of plastic gears for the drive. But of course, those are the kind of parts that will wear out very quickly, and they're also the parts that are in the most use in your printer. So if you can avoid those wear components, you'll have much longer life out of your printer. These days there's a number of different alternatives that are being proposed in order to increase the life of the extruding components. A lot of people will be using 1.75mm filament instead of 3mm filament. Because the torque out of a standard Nema 17 isn't quite enough to keep 3mm going in a one-to-one drive. Here, however, we have the benefit of quite substantial gearing, which means this is very much able to provide the small positional changes necessary to host a 3mm filament. And the Metal Gear system is principally designed for 3mm. I have managed to run Metal Gear system with a 1.75 filament by using a grooved bearing. And the grooved bearing allows the filament to follow the path down and be held on center. Otherwise, there is a tendency with this particular design for the filament to buckle out and jam up above the extruder. So let's throw this on together. The order of assembly is reasonably important. The first part we need to do, this is our first stepper motor. Get that attached into the assembly. 3 of these little cap head bolts. 1, 2, 3. And this secures our motor onto the printer. It's important that these go in first because the large wheel gear is too big for the bottom screw here to be placed. It interferes. So 1, 2, 3. These plastics have been printed reasonably well, so I haven't had to clean up at all this printed part in order for it to fit. Again, remembering we just want firm but delicate tightening down on these components. Okay, got access to the grub screw still, such that we can bring that into contact with the main gear. Hello puppies. Next we want our 2 bearings, which come in from the inside. We have our drive shaft, which has a flat machined on it. This one looks like it took a little bit of abuse with the previous assembly, so I've just touched it up with a file to try and clean up those surfaces. Order of assembly is the 2 bearings go in, coming in from this side. We then want our hello puppy how are you? Hello. Do you want to say hello to YouTube? Hello, puppy. There's your brother down there as well. Hey? Yes, you're a good boy, aren't you? Alright, off you go. Sorry about the little interruption, family. Okay. Next, we want Alrighty, just going to do a quick rewind there. So the positioning of the drive gear is pretty critical, that you want it centered over the drive hole. We should have two M5 washers, one at each end. And the first tightening of one of the gears is for the bearing side. And what we're doing here is capturing the bearing, the head of the bolt, the washer and the drive gear. Wanting that all to be nice and firm. So loosen off, apply pressure, tighten. Now we'll still have some end float here because although this end is all captured, we don't yet have any thrust to the other end. So now one end is captured, we want to position the second end with the large drive cog, providing thrust against the other washer and the other bearing on the second side. Looks like somebody's having fun. Okay, so zero end float, all metal gear extruder. It's just rotating slightly around that shaft, so try it again. Sure that we've got our drive pinion with as much up thrust as we can to take out any backlash. Okay, that all feels nice and firm, no float, no end. And you'll see now that we've got the teeth here well positioned over the filament hole. Next we want our tensioner. Got a captive hole into which goes a captive nut. Screw in from the side. tensioners. Springs on two. So that is the extruder assembly. We'll bring in our bolts for our hot end shortly. We've got a spacer nut washer. We've got a spacer washer at the bottom to provide tension against the hot end. That is the extruder assembly completed.